This is Coach Anita, and you're tuning to STATV.
Welcome to the STATV show. I'm Emmanuel Mupese, and as you see right now, I'm sitting next to this beautiful woman right here, Coach Anita, who actually coached for Dawson Blues, for high school Dalbe, Viau. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Very good. A little bit nervous in this interview? Or
No, not at all.
Nothing?
No,
Okay.
I'm good.
How was the summer?
It was good. It was eventful.
Eventful?
Eventful.
That's great. So for the viewers out there who has no clue who you are exactly, can you elaborate to viewers out there what exactly is your specific, like how do you get stuff into basketball? Who introduced you to the game basketball at all? Talk to me about your early beginning, first of all.
Oh boy. Okay, so I started playing basketball when I was 13, but I wasn't any good.
Okay.
So I decided to kind of go into another field of it. So I decided to coach it instead. I started working at St. Raymond's Community Center, and they didn't have a basketball program over there, so I decided that I was going to start one. And through that, I self-coached myself. And then eventually, after winning championships for too many years, I started getting bored. I felt like I wasn't growing. So I contacted Joel from Dawson Community Blues, which is now called Dtown Community Blues. So he gave me a chance over there, and then I've been coaching ever since. And then I'm also coaching here at Dalbe Viau High School in Machine.
Okay. So you went from being a basketball player all the way to become a head coach.
Yeah.
Any players out there when you're actually young, watched on TV that you idolize, looking up to, player or even a coach?
I looked up to Olga a lot because she coached the boys division as well as the men.
Mm-hmm.
So I really looked up to her. I watched a lot of her videos and stuff like that. And I even got to meet her, which was great. She gave me a lot of great advice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I looked up to her, but I also looked up to a lot of different people. Like I would just go to practices randomly, and then I just watch what they're doing, why do they do these certain things in practices. I wouldn't even like really talk to the coaches. I would just sit down and practice, watch it.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I developed myself as a coach.
And that's very important too, because coaching, it requires a lot of discipline too.
Yeah.
And also a lot of commitment for the people who wants to get stuff into that field. You went from becoming a basketball player, like I said before, coaching. How hard was it to make that transition, to let your ego out the door? So you know what, you're saying that you were not as good as a basketball player, but you find a path that can lead you to great success.
It was easy because I was bad.
Oh my God. You find it that easy?
Yeah, I was really bad. It took me like 3 months to learn a layup. Like I was really not a good basketball player, and I could teach it. I could explain it. I could make anybody do it. But for me, myself to do it, it was just something very difficult. And I still to this day, I really can't understand that. But I'm able to like teach kids how to shoot, how to dribble, how to go for a layup, how to strategically think about the game in a different way. Like I could do all those things, but I can't me myself do it per se, which is strange. But yeah.
Damn, I understand that. But how hard is it for you? Because now you say you're coaching the Dtown Blues, high school Dalbe, and also the AU team called the HBD Panther, is that right?
NBD.
Panther.
So this summer, I decided to group up a bunch of my kids that I had during the year, plus my Dalbe kids, and I kind of fused one team to make the NBD Panthers. So NBD stands for Never Back Down. So I made that team this summer, and then I rolled with that, and then I also coached with Vincent Arod in Jeux de Québec for the Montreal team, representing Montreal that went to Jeux de Québec. So I did those two teams in the summer. But NBD Panther is just a summer team.
Summer team. And talk to me about the Jeux de Québec experience. How was it over there?
It was great. It was my first Jeux de Québec ever. So I was like learning as the punches were coming in, and we were the team that everyone hated because we're Montreal. We're supposed to be the ones to win. We're the favorites. So everywhere we went, there was the squabble squabbles. Like they were talking about us and stuff like that, and like people were coming out to watch our games. It was intense. It was intense, and then like the finals were even more intense because it ended up being a very, very tight game versus Rive Sud, and there was a lot of the crowd that was for Rive Sud and not for us. So it was good when we won.
It's good you got that, and congratulations to that. Because Jeux de Québec is a very good experience for the people who want to be part of it. Because there's always ladders to level up. Ladder 1, ladder 2, ladder 3.
Yeah, for sure.
But you participate to be in that position. That's a good looking out.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was cool.
Definitely cool. Yeah.
So, if I'm a young kid who wants to play for you, right, who wants to be a basketball player, what are the 3 things you look into a player?
So I look for character. I think that that's like one of the main things that I look for. I look for heart, because to me it's like all about the little things, like diving for a loose ball. You don't need to be athletic or an amazing basketball player to do that. That just means you have heart. Like you're gonna do anything and everything to win this game and go all out for your team, not only your team but your coach. Like that's something I really look for, and that's not something that you can really coach. That's something that's in you. So if you can find that in a player, like that's amazing. And then also just determination and never giving up. That's why I have that slogan of never back down. I like for my players to just go all out 100% all the time, and they just don't give up. Like that, if you see that in a player, that's like, wow, that's like something I really look for in a player.
But do you feel like if a player doesn't have those qualities and who's extremely talented, can you teach a player how to not back it down?
I think you can. Like at some point, they have to buy in. If they don't buy in, if they don't believe in the philosophies that you're teaching and they don't believe in what you're doing, then no, they can't be coached. That's not going to happen because they just don't believe in what you're doing, right? But if they believe in what you're doing, they like what you're teaching, and they believe in the team, they believe in everything, yeah, you definitely can teach never back down. Because I had a team last year, my midget boys AA, and they all came from different parts. They all didn't know each other. 15 players coming from all over, didn't know each other, and I fused them together and I taught them the whole slogan of never back down. So they didn't have that before, and they learned it throughout the year. So yeah, it's coachable if they're willing to be coached.
Okay, I think coaching, correct me if I'm wrong, from your own experience, from your own perspective as well too, it is stressful. It is stressful because, and you can see you're smiling too, because there's a lot of players that they think they're better than the other players, and it's very much competitive amongst players. How do you manage to have 15 players to get their ego out the door and play as a team, as a unit?
That's a great question, actually. That's something I think coaches have a lot of struggle with throughout the years. I mean, because especially, teams like our team from Quebec, like we're taking the best kids from every different organization and putting them onto one team. So now they're no longer the hero. They're no longer number one. Now they're a part of the number ones. And that's a very hard thing for a lot of them to even handle themselves personally, not even just as coaches. So it isn't something easy to coach, but if you can get them to understand what the main goal is and get them to understand like why they're there and what they're doing for the team, and you can get them to really understand that, then it's not as hard as it looks. It's just a matter of getting them to understand that. And for a lot of these kids, they don't understand that because they've always been the number one. They've always been the hero in their organization. They've always been the only good player, let's say, on their team. So they don't know how to like really let that go because that's all they've ever known. So now you gotta like kind of erase everything they've ever known and then teach them something new. It's not that easy. It also depends on like how much time you have too. So I think you can do it. I just think it depends on how patient the coach is willing to be in order to teach it.
That's good. That's good. So you're a woman that actually coach a basketball team. Do you encourage as well more women to get involved in sports, and why do you think women should be a lot more sports, like whether it's basketball, football, hockey? Because I know the male are actually dominant in sports, right?
Yeah.
But why do you think we should encourage more women to do sports, in your opinion?
I think that it's really important for us to kind of be out there. I think that there's not enough female coaches out there. I think that we see them a lot in the girls division, and I can think that's natural. For me, as a female coach coaching on the boys side, boys division, it's always been a struggle. And I never really saw it in the beginning. In the beginning, I just kind of saw it as I'm coaching a team. This is what I'm here to do, and this is what is going to happen. But as the years went by, you can hear the talking behind your back. You can hear, people saying things in front of you. Like I remember one of my second years coaching here at Dalbe, I went to one of the schools and I walked in, and all the kids are naturally just bigger than me. I'm pretty short, and they were like, "Where's your coach?" And the boys pointed to me, and the guy's like, "This is your coach," and then he laughed. And in my head, I'm thinking, "Wow, that's crazy." Like, because I'm a girl, you think I don't know what I'm doing, and like, so I was like, all right, no problem. I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna make sure that you get the business, and I did, and he got like a 50 point, and that's what it was. But like, it's all about trying to put yourself out there, but in the right ways. Because I think a lot of coaches nowadays too, they do it for the wrong reasons. They do it for the limelight. They do it for, it's all about me, 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 me. But it's really all about getting these kids to the next level. It's really all about making sure that they make it to where they want to be, if that's where they want to go. And then also like on and off the court, like, are they okay at home? Are they okay in school? Like those are some predominant things that I think a lot of coaches forget. And I think that there needs to be a lot more, female influence in it. There's a lot of male people, and I think that that's great. I just think that maybe a little bit more female influence should be in it. And I don't think it matters whether you're female or male coaching boys or girls. It doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, the sport doesn't change. The sport remains the same. It's just all about, like, if people trust what you're teaching. So
that's right. And I always say that the sport is the greatest equalizer. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, yellow, Chinese, or Vietnamese, or Spanish. They always bring people together. Before I let you go, one last question before I let you go. What can we see in the near future from you, from the downtown, since you're a coach of the Downtown Blues, from high school to Dalbe, Viau? Do you see probably in the near future, create a community, not only talk about basketball, but use the platform for basketball to get stuff into education and things of that nature?
Well, you always try and get your kids to do just a little bit more than just basketball, right? Give back to the community, with fundraising events.
Yeah, exactly.
Like helping out during the Christmas time and stuff like that. So yeah, we do definitely try and do that at the Downtown Community Blues. Every year we try and get our teams to go out and, do things like that, as well as Dalbe. So definitely just try and elevate my kids to the next level. I'll be coaching midget AAA at Downtown Blues, and I'll be coaching the juvie boys over here, and I just really want to get them to the level where they're ready for college, and they're going to be ready for whatever the coaches throw at them. So just getting them to the next level.
That's great. Well, first, your time is very much limited, Mr. Coach Anita. Thank you so much for having the one-on-one for the STATV show. STATV show, my bad. And I wish you nothing but success and love and happiness.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you
very much. And as you see right now, the interview is done. Thank you so much for watching the STATV show with Coach Anita. If you have any question or suggestion, follow me on my Instagram page, Stat55, Facebook page, Stat, and as well to follow the Downtown Blues and also HBD Panther. NBD Panther, never back down. NBD, never back down. And as well as High School Diablo. Take care. Have a nice day.